The Film Box is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. And even if it were, it probably wouldn't be very funny anyways.
If anybody wants to find me, I'll be in the last place you would look. In a place where people used to be, a land that's called reality. You'll find me there. I won't be catching up on Reddit. I won't be watching any news. I'll let the planet spin without me, 'cause everything has been without me sometime. And everyone will be alright if I'm not live by satellite. It's a beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome. The Film Box podcast in video and also in your ears. We're back again. It's another episode with just the two of us this time around. But it's still going to be a lot of fun. I'm your host, Aaryn Souza. Connor's with me here today. As always, if you can see it, if you can hear us, now you know.
We're sorry that you have to see us.
Yeah, well. And this is the best movie podcast in the world, so yeah.
With no audio issues ever, especially not on my end.
Consummate professionals we are.
Yeah, I definitely don't record my audio sometimes out of my camera, which just glitched on me.
I saw that. We are the prime examples of what professionals are in this industry. Almost 50 episodes in. We've been doing this for a year. We're almost 50 episodes in, and it's like we never started.
We have learned absolutely nothing in this experience.
Oh, easily. But today, what we're going to be trying to do is doing another recast episode. This time, for the fantastic drama film 12 Angry Men, we're going to be doing a modern day recast, which is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if you remember, but like way back in, I think it was like our third episode, we did a Fantastic Four recast.
Super early.
I'm pretty sure it was actually our third episode, which is like going way back. So in that episode, it's different than the ones we've done recently, where we've kind of done like random polls and tried to place them into the movie. This one, we actually like went through, did our homework, and tried to create a legitimate like cast for a modern take on this movie. Yes.
Sorry, I'm a bit distracted because my cat's like in that iffy, like, am I gonna jump up on my lap? So if I repeat what you just said, 12 Angry Men is one of the best movies made.
Oh, yes.
Like, just period. This is not us trying to like make a remake of it, because that film doesn't need one. It is perfect as is.
Absolutely.
However,
Not I just learned this today. I didn't realize Gus Van Sant, famous director of Good Will Hunting, also famous for directing a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho in color. Not doing that.
Don't need it.
No.
However,
if it were,
because this movie is, I hate saying perfect for like recasting, but it's isolated. Like it was one like setting with 12 people pretty much, and all 12 of those people have very distinct character traits. It is so easy to like find people in movies, shows today and just line them up here.
Yep. And in that same vein, like a lot of what the themes were of that movie then apply still to today. So it's you could absolutely recast it. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna try and do it. We're gonna try and recast it, and we're not just gonna do a whole bunch of A-listers.
This isn't Marvel.
No, we're not doing that. So don't expect everyone to be just like Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds, like you said before we started recording this, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, all like just
What?
A-list, Leo DiCaprio.
Oh no.
Well, look, not every
No.
like the list is not going to go down in that order. Like we're not going to have, all of that.
Yeah.
But there will be some mixed in with some other character actors as well. So
I'm excited because I saw first time I saw 12 Angry Men was in a business law class. Which made it was super cool to watch it with like in the law context as well. And then this weekend was my latest rewatch, and
yep. And I just watched it for the first time last week, which I can't believe I ever missed it. But I don't know. I look, we haven't seen every movie. I just watched 7 for the first time today. So
we can't be perfect.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of movies out there. I haven't seen all of them. No one has. But anyways, so one more thing before we get started. Also, we're going to be, we thought about this stuff ahead of time, like with each character's kind of traits from the movie in mind. With that being said, we'll be going through, like, when we go to cast each character, we're going to give a little bit of context as to, like, who that character was in the movie and what their sort of traits were and that sort of thing. So you have an idea of, like, okay, this is who that character was, instead of just being like, well, because also the thing about the movie, if you haven't seen it, no one has any names. So
yeah, it's literally just, I think, I don't want to say it's like a famous ending, but like the ending is literally just two of them introducing each other.
Yeah.
So
which is like kind of like
time.
a mind-blowing thing when you see the movie, and it's like, oh, well, these people just spent all this time in like all of this heavy stuff, but they're strangers. They'll never see each other again after this hour and a half that they were in this room. So anyways, let's get into it, because I got some fun ideas to talk about.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right, so to kick us off, do you want to just go down the list of like 1 through 12 for the jurors?
What do you mean? Like the character traits, or
no? Just go in order instead of just.
Yeah. I thought you were being like, oh, you want to do a rundown right now? I was like,
no.
Well, we kind of just established that they don't have names.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do. We're just gonna go in order. All right, so that gives us the foreman / juror number 1. So juror number 1 was kind of like it seemed middle-aged to me, but his biggest thing was that, like, he was not really actively involved in the debate. He wasn't overly intelligent, but he wanted to get things done. He wanted to get, like, he was the leader, and wanted to be the leader, but he was not particularly, like, convicted in his opinions. He was not overly intelligent. So, you want to start with your pick for juror number 1?
Yes. So, with this pick, what I had in mind was I wanted someone who, he's not a lawyer, like, that's not what the character is, but this person I had in mind, I've seen play a lawyer where he is keeping his composure, like settling down a raucous group, trying to keep order, and it's Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
I just felt like because he doesn't need to do a whole lot besides be calm.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have to be like, he doesn't get super like into the arguments. He's very much an authoritative figure for the movie. And
he does kind of, there's that scene where he does kind of like open up a bit with juror number 8, who is kind of like the lead protagonist. So I do want someone who does have like a bit of a kinder side too, not just mean. Who do you got?
All right, so I had 2 picks here. one main pick. I kind of gave myself options because there were a few that I liked.
Mhm.
The lower pick, I'll go with like my second place was Paul Dano,
Ooh.
which I liked because he kind of fit that bill of like that middle aged, like, just stoic but means business kind of character. But my top pick was Joel Edgerton.
Okay.
Which I really liked it for the same reason that you listed, being that like he's serious, he gets things done, but he's not like overly emotional. Like he doesn't get into it, but he's that leader, and he also is like that. He's not gonna stray from his ideals. Like very much that character.
Mm-hmm. Plus, like as you said, like he's not very involved in the he's not very active in the debates. So I also didn't want someone who's gonna like eat his screen time up.
Right. You need
like,
a
I just want him
actor.
to blend in. And
Yep.
with all respect to Charlie Cox, he is a white brown haired man. Like,
Yeah,
that's
he will
as
not
basic
stand
as
out.
it comes.
Yep. So pretty good options right there. I'm not gonna lie. That was
Yeah.
solid options. All right, do we want to like pick a winner? Or
I was just going like kind of how we did our Fantastic Four. We just
Okay.
kind of we say our roster essentially.
Gotcha. I like that. Okay, so juror number 2 was more of a minor character. Didn't really have a whole lot to say, but the main character trait of this person is he's very indecisive and easily swayed.
Very like they're very mouse like, they're they want to speak up at times, but they get overpowered easily.
Yes. All right. Who was your pick for juror number 2?
So I also want to say the original doesn't have any women in it.
Oh yeah.
I included women, obviously.
Okay.
Because
I did not, but just because I was kind of more sticking true to the original, but I'm not opposed to including women.
yeah,
didn't.
I felt like it could add some new dynamics because
That it could. Absolutely.
again, you can't really do it one for one without like certain things being like noticeably absent. So I have 2 picks. First one, probably like my B pick, Thomasin McKenzie.
Yes, that's a good pick.
She was in Last Night in Soho, where she is kind of like that. She like doesn't quite fit in. Like
Right.
other people are more popular, they're demanding more screen time. They're popular, and she's just kind of like squeezed by. But
No pun intended.
yeah. But I think my main pick is Sophia Lillis. She
I
was
don't
just
know her.
she was just in Dungeons and Dragons as the shapeshifter.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, probably
Yes.
more known
Yep.
for being in It, the remakes.
Yep.
I think because she is also like physically smaller as well, that just plays into like it makes sense that her character is going to get overpowered by like the bigger men in the room.
Interesting. I like that. I like both of those picks, honestly.
Thank you. But you know what's funny? When I first did it, I'm doing everything off sticky notes. My first pick was Paul Dano for this.
Really interesting.
Because I thought he
Interesting.
could play like that super soft.
He can absolutely, and he does in the Fablemans. So, so for my picks here, I had 3 picks. Each of them, I purposely did characters who have big names but aren't known as leading men. And I did that because I like the idea of having like this, like, oh, like this person's in the movie, but they're very much like a side character, very reserved, very like there to notice them, but not there to, doesn't do enough to really grasp your attention. So I think my 3rd place pick was Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, I like that.
That was kind of like I was just doing like some final research. I was like, I like that.
Especially
I like
because
that
of his character in the menu. He's very
yes.
He's very much just like not a pushover, but he's there for. I don't even know how to describe it. He's there to be like appreciated, but he doesn't get that, and it just crushes him.
Yep, exactly.
If,
my second pick is Evan Peters.
Okay.
Which kind of the same has the same vibe of Nicholas Hoult. Everyone that I chose here has like a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my number one pick, and I think you're gonna be surprised here. Domhnall Gleeson. And specifically because of his early work, especially like About Time and stuff like that, has that very much like kind of pushovery nature to him. And I just think he's an excellent actor. He's a very good character actor. Kind of a big name nowadays. And also for reasons I will go over very soon, included him for other things.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. We both took a lot of care in trying to put these lists together.
Yeah. It might not look like it by the sticky notes, but I promise you. It was
we
just
did our
because,
research.
Yeah.
All right. So juror number 3.
Probably the main antagonist of the movie.
Yes. Very strong-minded. He's prejudiced. I won't spoil the movie in case. I mean, if it's like 60 years old. If you haven't seen it yet, you should. It's like actually like 70 years old.
Yeah,
but
in
like
the 50s.
He's very prejudiced, but because of his own
experience,
right? His own issues with his son. So seeing like a son murder a father potentially is very like damaging to his mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes this very antagonistic, angry, just conflict-enabled person because of it. So I want to start with my picks first.
Go for it.
So my third choice pick, I have 3 here, obviously, was James Spader.
I like that.
Just because he can play that villain role really well. And he's but I'm not sold because he plays a villain a very different way, a very like creepy stoic kind of way. So I'm not sold on that. But what I am sold on are my 2 picks here that are pretty much tied for first, and I'm just gonna go with this one first. J.K. Simmons.
Okay. Very popular. Yeah.
Very, very popular, but very like has that emphatic nature, just argumentative.
Him and Whiplash, pretty much.
Oh, it's an excellent antagonist. But my main choice is Brendan Gleeson. So we're gonna have a little father-son action in this movie. He kind of fits that image of Juror 3, and if you watch him playing Mad Eye Moody in Harry Potter, he can play that combative, heavy-natured type, I guess.
And what I like too is like his character in Banshees of Inisherin. It's kind of like he's very stubborn. When like if you take a step back, like the stubbornness is getting in the way of being reasonable.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is like what Juror 3 is essentially up until the end.
Yep.
I'm
excited to hear your picks for this. This is kind of like probably the first like main character.
This is the first
movie.
big one. So I have 2 picks, and I was bouncing back and forth with one of them for a different role. First one, my B option, Jason Clarke. If you have seen Oppenheimer, he plays the prosecutor. Not prosecutor.
Yes. This guy.
I could not get the image out of my head of how like he was just
good pick.
Very commanding of like that room. Obviously he's not as aggressive in the Juror's not supposed to be as aggressive as he was in that movie, but I think he has that edge to him. But I think my number one pick was Viola Davis.
Oh.
Because
wow. that is wow.
I think she could carry like the more emotional weight of like why the juror is feeling that way. Plus, especially like the ending, not monologue, but his little speech.
Yeah.
I think she would crush it.
Yep.
And I would love to see it.
That's an interesting pick. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
Huh. Nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So moving on to juror 4. Juror 4 is described as a very self-confident man, used to being listened to,
calculated.
Calculated marks of wealth, intelligence is kind of like very that in that circle. So who's your pick for this one?
So once again, I have 2 picks. I would say my 1B is John Cho.
Okay.
I just think he has a presence that could play off as, it's not like an arrogance, but it is more of like a
Yep.
like I am smarter than you. Like you cannot trip me up with my logic. But then my 1A pick, Jeremy Strong.
Jeremy Strong. I was looking at Jeremy Strong.
Because I think he could play off more of the arrogance.
Yep.
Of like, yes. And besides, we've seen him as a businessman, so we know that he has like that in him.
Yep. I like that pick. That's a solid pick.
Thank you.
So I only have one choice.
Okay.
For juror number 4. And I knew it as soon as I thought about it, as soon as I saw it. And it's very clearly to me, Oliver Platt. And you know Oliver Platt. You've seen him in a lot of stuff before.
I'm sure I have. Oh, yes. From The Bear. That's where I recognize him from.
Yes, most recently in The Bear. He has that essence, that ooze of I'm very confident. I stand by what I am, but also that like I'm very intelligent, and I was sold as soon as I saw it.
I could definitely
also
see that.
Was in Chef, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and he's excellent in it. So I would love to have him in this movie, in a remake of this movie. All right, juror number 5 is a younger person. Shows his youth. He only votes to do, or has the courage to vote not guilty when the others do. And also what's important about him is that he grew up very poor and comes from like the poor area. So he's sympathetic to the accused person as well. So, all right. Do you want me to do my picks first this time?
Yeah, go for it. We can go back and forth.
All right. I had 3. Probably my third place choice was Michael Pena.
Okay.
It's just a solid character actor, can embody that sort of like poor life, is younger, that sort of thing. So kind of was feeling that. The second choice, John David Washington.
Okay, I like that.
Kind of the same thing, just can play that, can absolutely play that role. But my top choice, and I like my top choice, is Dev Patel.
Oh, I like that pick a lot.
Who has proven to have played that like man who rose above the slums, obviously Slumdog Millionaire. And it just feels right in that role. So
yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
So I definitely honed more in on like who I think could capture like the feeling of like the sympathy because of like the upbringing.
Right.
I have 2 picks again, and both of these could have been my main juror number 8, but Lakeith Stanfield
Okay.
would have think he could capture like that kind of sympathy, but he's on the younger side too, so
Yep.
could get swayed. But
I was looking at him as well, so
the one I think I prefer, and he's on the older side, but Jeffrey Wright. I feel like he would bring a bit more wisdom to the character. But like if you've seen him in like the Batman,
yes. Yep.
he plays the new
That's an
Commissioner
interesting
Gordon.
pick. I like that pick actually.
He's a very soft-spoken man as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he can raise his voice, but like a lot of the times when he's talking, it's very like soft. You can feel like the emotion behind his words, and that's what I really wanted. I wanted this to be the more emotional connection character besides one other person.
I like that pick a lot. All right, juror number 6 is another minor character. This describes him as an average man who is honest yet unremarkable. He does not exhibit prejudices, flair, or loud opinions, and he's one of the quietest of the jurors. Okay, so it's your turn to start.
Okay. So there's one scene that like hammered in my pick, and it was when juror number 3 gets a bit confrontational towards juror number 8. And they get up and they're like, I will knock your ass down if you try to do that shit again. And this is when I was thinking like Jason Clarke would be my juror number 3. Dipping back into the Oppenheimer tree, Emily Blunt.
Interesting.
Because the character is a painter, very like, as you were saying, there's not a whole lot of.
They're normal. They're just a normal guy. They don't really carry much prejudice. They just are there.
Granted, very attractive woman. She is going to eat up her screen time. But
yes, sir.
I think she can bring a bit of because there's a couple of scenes where like juror number 6 gets up to defend juror 8 from like a lot of the backlash. And I think that's something that she could do. Especially in like a very like verbal situation, not so much as like threatening to knock Viola Davis out.
I like that.
Who's yours?
So I've got 2. One is a big name, one is not.
Okay.
I'll start with the big name, because this is my lesser choice. Brendan Fraser. I believe he has the ability to play that like very normal, not really outspoken. I mean, he seems very soft spoken in real life, so I think he could capture that. But my main choice is a lesser known actor. I don't know if you know him off the top, but Kevin McNally.
I do know him.
Definitely, yeah. So he was famous for playing Gibbs in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. But he's been in a lot. He's been in a lot of movies. And he's just a solid character actor. He won't bring too much spotlight, but he's gonna play the role well. I like that. I like it.
I really like that pick. Especially because like he's defending juror number 8, and he spent probably his most known stuff defending Jack Sparrow. So
yeah.
Great pick there.
Thank you. I mean, all these picks so far have been really solid for both of us, I think.
I agree.
All right, juror number 7, and I think this is another one of the main characters, really, who is very much like a jokester, indifferent. He doesn't really have prejudice. He wants to get out of there so we can go gamble on baseball. Is basically what his whole deal is, and he'll do anything to get out of there. And he wants to get out quickly. So, but he's also like, he cracks some jokes, and he's kind of the goofball, you know? Like, he's not really like.
I mean, I would say him and 12 are like there's no comic relief, but there are people who do. Like they'll make like remarks.
They'll have quips, yeah.
Yeah, quips.
All right. Is it my turn? Yeah, it's my turn.
Your turn.
So I've got 2 picks again.
Same.
One is very much a lesser pick. Well, so my first pick is David Spade. And I knew you were gonna laugh about that. But when you think about it, like he can embody that a pure thespian. He can embody that very sarcastic, like I can just imagine being like, all right, let's wrap it up. Let's go home. Like I want to go home kind of thing.
Mm.
I can see that happening. But my bigger choice, my main choice here, who can do that, but at just such a better level, fucking Joe Pesci, man. Joe Pesci can do it.
All right.
He could do it. 100,000%.
I do.
I would watch this movie if Joe Pesci was playing juror number 7.
So it was kind of as soon as I kind of got the gist of the character.
Mm-hmm.
One name really popped to me, but I did think of another one as well. The lesser one, I would say, I think Stephen Yeun.
Okay, I like that.
Except I think instead of play more into maybe he's a bit more immature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just wants to go. He's got stuff to do. He doesn't want to be there. He's not taking it serious because that leads to one of the better interactions in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the name that as soon as I saw it, I was just like, I could see it. John Berthnall. The Punisher.
I know who that is.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, guy's guy. He's like, oh, let's go to the game.
Yeah.
He might be a bit too intimidating.
A little bit.
But I think just that kind of mentality, come on, we just gotta go. He can bring a bit of the quip, but I think I don't know. I just feel like he could be a good fit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like those picks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our main character, the man.
The
We're on to
architects.
juror number 8. So juror number 8 is the first one to vote not guilty. He starts the conflict of the whole film. He's very independent, very much calm, clever, doesn't really get it. I mean, he gets into arguments, but he's not the one to start them.
And they're not they're all based off his reasoning. It's not like he's making personal attacks.
Right. He's very charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're first on this one.
So
I'm interested to see what you got here. Remember, it's our main character.
Our main character, you said him already, Paul Dano.
Oh.
That's who I want. Because I think just like the 11v1 mentality, I think he would look the part there. I don't know if I've said this on the pod, but I've definitely told you. I think Paul Dano is easily one of the most underrated actors we have, just because he can morph. Yeah, he can morph into whatever character you need him to be. You need him to be a soft-spoken, kind of nerdy dad for Fabelmans. Boom, got it. You need him to play like a social outcast sociopath for the Batman. Boom, got it in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got the range where he can do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I like that. Is that your only pick?
Only pick. I couldn't.
Ooh, wow.
The first time I was doing my list, I could not think of someone.
Yeah, I was this one. I left this one for last when I was doing it.
Yeah, I will say this. Though, Viola Davis was also under consideration.
That's not a bad pick.
Mm-hmm.
I would have rolled with Viola Davis. For me, I had 3 choices.
Okay.
All of them pretty much A-listers. my wild card choice, and you're gonna like this. My wild card choice
Dwayne
is
the Rock Johnson.
Casey Affleck.
Ooh.
He can do it. He can play that leading role pretty damn well. But also very much my wild card. And my other two choices are more based on how they presented themselves on screen and how similar it is and what like traits they need to have for juror number 8. So first choice, I'm dipping back into Oppenheimer. It's Cillian Murphy. I'm sorry, but he's got that. He's got it.
He's got the presence.
Yeah, he's got the presence, the nature to do that. My number 1 pick. This is my top choice. The man, George Clooney.
I see it.
He can do it. Can't you see it? He's got all of it. He's got the swag. He's got the charm. He can play that leading man to a T. Yeah, George Clooney, man.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. All right, juror number 9. 9 is elderly, good-natured, compassionate, thoughtful, and he's the first to change his guilty vote to not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So very important. Now, before I do this pick, I want you to bring up a picture of juror number 9. Just so you can think about it. And then you'll be able to compare that to my pick, which is my only pick for juror number 9. Mm-hmm. It was also my first pick that I made when I started making this list. Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's very on the nose.
Easily. I saw it. I was like, it's him. There he is.
Yeah. I mean, I can't not see it now.
Yeah. Can't you see it? It's it's there.
So, at first I was like, I couldn't really think of like a good older actor who I thought just portrayed like sympathetic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just not because I can't think of one, but it's more so like I was just having like a brain fart. Like the only name I was thinking of was like Robert Lithgow or John Lithgow. I forgot.
John Lithgow. John Lithgow.
You know what? I had a Robert before, and then I crossed it out. And for whatever reason, I did not do a good enough job crossing it out. John Lithgow. But then
I can see it.
I was like, okay. Like I'm changing genders, races. Maybe I'm gonna tone down the age just a bit. Because I had 2 other picks.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton.
Yep.
And my number 1 pick, Michael Stuhlbarg. He was the dad in Call Me by Your Name.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's the best one. That's the best one out of year 3. Yep.
Yeah. Just thinking about like that last like monologue he had with Timothée Chalamet, just like being understanding. Another character trait of this guy was he's super observant.
Yes.
Like, he points out that the woman testifying, she had like the wells on her nose from wearing glasses that no one else thought to see. There's also like the older man who testified, who he points out is like clearly like looking for some sort of recognition.
Yep.
Coming like and wearing a not broken down, like a ripped up suit and whatnot.
And trying to hide the fact that he's not crippled, basically.
Yeah. And obviously in Call Me by Your Name, he picks up on the fact that Timothée Chalamet and Armie Hammer are having relationships pretty early on. So like that kind of attentiveness, I think
that's important.
He's shown.
Yep. I like that. All right. Juror number 10. Another one of our main antagonists here. So juror number 10 is the most prejudiced, cruel. He's very racist. Basically, he's very racist. But also he very much is like a concerned about like the rich versus the poor. And he doesn't like people who are from poor backgrounds. He doesn't like, that sort of thing. So not a great character, to say the least.
We might actually have the same name.
Really?
We might.
I doubt it. I doubt we do. You're first this time, so I doubt it. If you have one of these 3 names, I will be shocked.
I had 3 names as well.
Okay.
One of them I know it can't be because you already picked them, but Casey Affleck.
Interesting.
Aging it down, I just think he's got that unlikableness.
He's got that
him.
Racist in him.
Yes, he's got that. He's got that dog in him.
Oh God.
Not the good one. Kelsey Grammer. Not as great of an actor, but again, just super abrasive. Could play a racist, I think.
Yeah.
The one I went with, and maybe I'm gonna tone down the racism and crank up the classism. Lena Headey.
I like that. I like
from
that.
Game of Thrones.
You know what? Okay. All right. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. My picks. So I actually had a really hard time with this one. I just trying to figure out like who could embody that. My not my top choice, but the first person that I wrote down was Tim Curry. For whatever reason, I just was like feeling it at the time, and then I was thinking about it a little bit more. And I came up with Robert De Niro because he can do that. He can play that antagonist role, and it would be a high-profile name to get in there. But then my research brought me upon my top choice, and it's just so glad that you used the Game of Thrones character because my actor was also in Game of Thrones. It's Owen Teale. And I don't know if you know who that is, except I'm sure you know exactly who that is when you see him.
Yep.
The Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, who was the mutineer. He plays that asshole, like, real classist character to a T. And I don't know, I loved it. I thought when I saw that, I was like, yep, that's it. I don't care that he's not an A-lister for a main role. That's it.
Again, because like he doesn't have good points. It's all based in like his own hate. And just even if you look at him, he does have like a face that you just want to punch.
You just want to hit him.
And again, one of I think it's maybe my favorite scene in 12 Angry Men is when he's going on his like tirade.
Yeah.
And everyone just gets up and turns their back on him.
Yeah, even the Juror 3, who's also a dick.
Yeah, he's
like
okay.
All right, I'm a dick, but I'm not that much of a dick.
He's like, okay, you're clearly not here for the right reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen Teale, that's my top pick.
Yeah. Because I think with both of our picks, Owen Teale, Lena Headey, that shunning would just devastate them. And that's
absolutely.
And that's what we want.
That's what we want. We want to shun the classists. Eat the rich.
Eat
God,
the rich.
no, I'm not doing. All right, can we tangent real quick? Because I'm not going on a tangent about that, but also kind of about that. Did you see like just before we started recording, probably about an hour ago, there was and I sent you a post earlier today about how David Zaslav is the worst. Because long story short, Max wants to start putting CNN headlines on the things that you watch on HBO or on Max, no matter what it is, which is really stupid. First off, I don't want to be watching True Detective and then see like that Trump got arraigned and stuff like that. Like I don't care. I'm watching True Detective. I don't give a shit. They even said they were gonna do it for Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, which blows my mind. But anyways, then about an hour later, it came out that David Zaslav and Bob Iger are like, they are stunned that they have been vilified because of this whole strike issue and their unwillingness to pay their writers and actors.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really? Are you that fucking stupid? Of course.
Yes. And I want to, as I've often done, shout out Discussing Film on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They've been nailing these headlines as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
They're painting them like they're pro worker, obviously, because again, you can't make a movie without writers or actors.
Yeah, and if you don't pay them, if 85% of your workforce can't afford health insurance, something needs to change.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they were like, the thin-skinned Bob Iger and David Zaslavs are stunned that they have been vilified for refusing to give a fair deal to writers.
It's like, yes.
It's like but that's how you have to approach it. You can't. My one issue with media, and we can stop after this, is that they try too hard to be like right down the middle when some issues, I just don't see how you can be like, oh, well, both sides kind of have a point. Like, what point do Bob Iger and David Zaslav have? That they want these guys home, like writers and actors, to be homeless and like
so they can save 0.18% of their
oh my god
collective.
When the numbers came out, that should have been it.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that stuff. You can form your own opinions. We're here to talk about juror number 11.
Yes.
Who is an immigrant. And this says he exhibits an awareness of and awe for the idealistic principles behind the American legal system. And he's very quick to change his vote, and defends the right of any man to have an unpopular opinion in America.
Mm-hmm. Before you pick yours, this one we might actually have the same.
Interesting.
Because I thought of mine immediately and did not change it.
Interesting. I had 3 picks.
Okay.
But I like one of them the most. My first pick, coming a little bit on the younger side, was Diego Luna.
Okay.
I think he can play that very like hard-natured foreign person. Mm-hmm. My second pick, which I actually kind of like, but not as good as my first pick, is Luis Guzman.
Okay.
For the same sort of reasons. Mm-hmm. You know Luis Guzman.
Yes, I do.
But my top pick, and I hope it's the same as yours. It's Javier Bardem.
Oh, it's not.
Oh no! Although Javier Bardem would be good.
That would be a great pick.
All right, now I'm curious.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
You know what? He was on my list. I was going to put him down. He was right there. I just went a different direction with it. But yes, he was 100% on my list.
Specifically because, like, yes, he has, like, his Borat character. He has, like, the dictator character where he like, makes fun of, like, America and, like, the people and whatnot. But when you listen to him actually talk about, like, the systems and, like, just the reality of America, it's well thought out. He has, like, it's never coming from, like, well, I wasn't born here, like, fuck them. It's very much like, you could be better, and here's why it's failing. And that, as soon as there's the scene where Juror 11 gets in Juror 7's face because he just flip-flops his vote because now he's on the winning side and he just wants this process to speed on. I could 1,000% see Sacha Baron Cohen getting in someone's face about that, like, no, like, we're here to judge, like, a man's life. Like, he has every right to, like, an impartial jury. Yes. We are not just going to flip our votes just because it's convenient.
Yeah, that was the first name that came up when I was thinking about this. I just didn't include him because I saw a different direction to go in, but that is a phenomenal pick. And I would actually agree with you there that he should play that role. Mm-hmm. And now our last juror here. Juror number 12 Yeah, I like how this says he's a man who's defined by his job in advertising. He's shallow and he's snobby.
Mm-hmm.
So
This one, low key, might have been one of the harder ones for me to pick.
same.
Just because there's really not a whole lot of character to go off of.
Yeah.
I
tried to get someone who I felt could embody that like businessman ad executive nature.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything. So my first pick, which was kind of
I think it's my turn.
Oh yeah, is it your turn? No, it's
yeah.
Oh yeah, it is your turn.
First.
Yes, it is your turn.
Mm-hmm. My pick, I settled on Timothy Oliphant.
It's a good pick. It's a very good pick.
Specifically because I was thinking of his character in The Office, where he's only in like 3 episodes, but like he has that kind of like salesman mindset, but he also makes like the kind of sarcastic jokes where he's not like Jared 12 does, where they're not supposed to be funny and it's kind of a nuisance and annoying to everyone else, but I just felt like he could capture that.
I can agree with that. I had 2 picks here. My first choice is just because I wanted him in this recast so bad is Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he could do it, but we'll see. But my main choice, and after I thought about it for some time, my main choice is Daniel Craig.
Okay.
I think because he can do that like prim and sharp type of guy, but also he's a little bit funny, and he can play that interest. He can play a wide range of characters. So, and he's got that look. He's got that business look. Like he's not. I didn't want to get someone who couldn't look like he was like a guy who works in advertising. So, and Daniel Craig has that look.
And I was thinking, like, Robert Downey Jr. could also probably be a good fit. But I didn't want to take a...
I think he brings too much star power for that role.
Yeah.
Although Daniel Craig is James Bond, but...
And Benoit Blanc. I didn't want to have, like, a quarter of our cast just be Oppenheimer.
That's true. Although it's a great cast.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great... Listen, it's like picking from an expansion. You're picking an expansion team where only like one person's protected. Like you're getting the best of everyone else.
Yep. Cool. All right, so that's gonna round out. Did you do anyone for like the accused kid or anything like? I didn't.
Nah, me neither. I mean,
okay,
because I was thinking too. And because obviously, with a more modern cast, a more diverse cast, like it's kind of hard to think of like what the situation can be. So I was like, we're recasting. We're not making the story.
Yep. All right, so just real quick, I think we should each run down our top choices here. So rapid fire, juror number 1. My top pick was Joel Edgerton. Do you want to go like back and forth, or just I'll go down my whole list and then you'll
Let's
go
just
down
go back and
list?
forth.
Okay, so juror number 1, Joel Edgerton for me. Connor.
Charlie Cox for me.
Okay, juror number 2, Domhnall Gleeson for me.
Sophia Lillis for me.
Okay, juror number 3, J.K. Simmons.
Viola Davis.
Yep. Juror 4, Oliver Platt.
I had Jeremy Strong.
Okay, you seemed unsure about that one.
Well, because again, it was John Cho or Jeremy Strong, and I almost said Jami.
Nice.
So I had to mentally make sure I didn't do that.
Juror 5, Dev Patel.
Jeffrey Wright.
Juror 6, Kevin McNally.
Emily Blunt.
Juror 7, Joe Pesci.
John Berthnall.
Juror 8, George Clooney.
Paul Dano.
Juror 9, Ben Kingsley.
Michael Stuhlbarg.
Juror 10, Owen Teal.
Lena Headley.
Juror 11, I'm actually changing my vote to be Sacha Baron Cohen because it's so on the nose.
Yep, Sacha Baron Cohen.
And Juror 12, Daniel Craig.
Timothy Oliphant.
There we go. Boom. Under an hour. 12 Angry Men recast. Hire us, Hollywood. Casting directors.
Don't.
Not right now. No, don't do it.
Stand with the unions.
We absolutely do. But first off, before we go, I just want to say thank you for listening to the episode. This has been a lot of fun. We're going to do more of these kind of episodes, hopefully in the future. If you like this, subscribe on your favorite platform, share it, leave us a rating. All that stuff helps tremendously. Follow us on social media. We're on X. It's Twitter, whatever. Facebook, all that fun stuff. Go to our website, filmboxreviews.com, for reviews and all that kind of fun stuff. Follow us on Letterboxd as well. We're on Letterboxd. Each of us two and also Sam. So follow us there. And then also, I want to thank Josh Woodward for our awesome theme music. And yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, this was
all
good.
Right. This was fun. And without further ado, this has been the Film Box Podcast, the greatest movie podcast on planet Earth. We will see you next time.
Beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode and everything is okay. I just want to play, unplug for the day.